So tips to facilitate an embodied experience. We're just in this little square. How can we actually come alive within that? So limit the length of online sessions. I used to run open studios for 3 hours in person sometimes. Now I would do an hour and a half, max 2 hours with a break in the middle. We're really condensing because it is very intense to be on the computer for a long time. So for longer sessions of than an hour, integrate a body break that encourages clients to get up and move away from the screen. So an example of this could be telling people to go outside and do a treasure hunt, find a certain object, to shake, to guide a meditation or a body orientation where you get to just look around the space and look away from the screen so you're not constantly focusing. You might incorporate mindfulness exercises into the session and facilitate check-ins and orientations to the respective spaces of each person in the session. So, online options for art making. So, you want to start by assessing the client's familiarity with creative expression and their comfort with art materials. Some people who come to see this is the first time that they have made art in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And so it might be challenging. For other people, they're artists and it's like their natural expression. So finding out what materials are actually going to work for them. Then you might want to invite the client to explore their home environment and create an art therapy toolkit. And we are actually going to be creating a list of possible materials that people could use for art making. I really want people to get to grips with recycled materials, natural materials, what people might naturally have at home, and especially during a pandemic where people can't necessarily go outside and buy objects. What can you use at home for art making? And so making a list, very simple, short list, so that you can give that out to your clients so they feel that they can make their own toolkits at home. Another option is that you might deliver or mail out or have the clients pick up a package of art materials. So I know quite a few therapists who have been working in this way, and it can be really effective, but it can also add on extra costs because you have to make a little pack for each person. So it really depends on the means of yourself and also what your client might prefer. So you want to introduce directives that are using easy to access materials such as found objects, household items, recycling, and objects from nature. You also want to consider the mess factor and the capacity of the client or parent to tolerate and or clean up the mess in the space that is being used at home for art making. You might also think about working digitally and work with drawing apps and other online media platforms for art making. You might work with photography, video, and or poetry. So it really encourages us to expand out and get into much more expressive therapy. So some suggestions. So art and writing prompts can be sent via email or discussed in the session and then completed by the client in their own time between sessions. Directives and or spontaneous art making can be done during online sessions. Focus on working with themes and metaphors rather than expecting artwork when it's not feasible for the client. This adaptation could include working with dreams, poetry prompts, and inspirational quotes. Artwork can be created together using a share screen function and a drawing app. You might also incorporate expressive therapies, online therapeutic games, movement exercises, mindfulness, and reflective writing prompts. So this is really this invitation for us to expand out of what we know and get really creative with designing something for our clients that feels super aligned, authentic, and true. If you have any questions, please email me or just drop a message in the form below. This is, we're living in a time where it's so incredibly valuable to be able to have the skills to work online, and not just the skills, but also to be able to assess our clients' readiness, to know how to use different platforms, materials, and ways of working. So I hope this has been inspiring for you, and I can't wait to share a little bit more.